So, hi, my name is John Blakey. I'm the founder of The Trusted Executive and the author of the book, The Trusted Executive, which was published in 2015. And I and my team are delighted to be working with Indutrade UK at this time because we know that empowerment and trust is hugely important in your culture. And the last 2 or 3 years for all organizations has put us under stress and pressure in terms of trust. We've had the pandemic, we've had the cost of living and energy crisis, we've had the war in Ukraine. All of these things have put a strain on trust. And Indutrade UK business area is really keen to measure trust in the culture, measure how much trust there is between the businesses and the UK business area team, including the business unit leaders. Because if we can take this big, vague, abstract word called trust and break it down into manageable chunks and put a number to it, then we can then work with you to improve that trust over a period of time. And we know that the biggest single factor in building a high trust culture is the behavior of the CEO and the senior leadership team. So we know that if those behaviors and habits start to change, it will ripple out into the rest of the organization to help you build the high trust culture. So completing this leadership trust index survey is the first step on going on that journey of trust. And we're really looking forward to working with you as part of that. Well, the most important thing with any survey is obviously getting honest responses. So we want the maximum number of honest responses and perceptions from you in order to create the best possible data, which could help us make the best decisions about how to build a high trust culture. So your involvement in this survey is absolutely critical. Every person's views and opinions counts. And I would just really encourage you to take the short amount of time, 10 to 12 minutes maximum, to complete this survey so that we have the best data that we can work with to help your leaders deliver the best outcomes. The survey, as I say, takes 10 to 12 minutes. It's a series of multiple choice questions. You're just going to be asked whether you agree with certain statements or whether you disagree. I think the rule of thumb with these surveys is simply be as open as honest. Don't overthink it. Go with your instinctive response. And all the responses to this survey will be kept confidential and anonymous. The technology that we're using, Qualtrics, is an academically verified survey tool, which has built into it all of those security measures, which means that we cannot find out who submitted which response. So that confidentiality and anonymity is critical to maximizing the openness and the honesty of the responses. And obviously that's what gives us the best grip of reality. And without that, we can't really work out what the best next steps to take are. We've completed this Leadership Trust Index survey for many organizations across the public sector, the private sector, the third sector over the last 6 years. And what we always like to do with those results, once we've analyzed them, is present those results back to the leadership team. And that, in this case, with Indutrade UK, we'll do a briefing with the business area team in mid-September. And then at the end of September, on the 27th of September, you're holding a leadership conference. And I'm really looking forward to coming along to that conference with my colleague Sharon. And we will present the headlines from the survey back to all of you as part of that conference. We'll then have a follow-up session where we'll continue to drill down into the detail of those results and make sure we target the 2 or 3 areas that could make the most difference for you as a culture in taking those next steps. So I mentioned that we've completed this survey for many different organizations over the last 6 years. What we like to do is to measure trust as with the survey, as we're going to do at Indutrade UK over the next couple of months. We can then compare that with a benchmark with all the other organizations that we've worked with. And we know that if you can increase that leadership trust index score by 20% over the next 6 to 9 months, we know that the sort of benefits that you're going to get are things like a 15% reduction in stress levels in the business, a 3% reduction in sick days, a 10% improvement in productivity, and a 15% improvement in employee engagement. Those are figures that we've calculated based on the work of Dr. Paul Zak and his article in Harvard Business Review called The Neuroscience of Trust. So those are the sorts of benefits that we're looking to deliver over a period of time by working in partnership with you. And the starting point is to get this very clear benchmark of data from using the survey for the first time.